For a long time, I thought isolation exercises were less important than compounds. And when you look at it from a certain perspective, we can say, yeah, they are kind of less important than compounds. But the more experienced I've become in training and building muscle and bodybuilding, I've learned that they're actually extremely important and they shouldn't necessarily be treated differently in any way than compounds. Firstly, why actually do isolation exercises? Isolation exercises, like you could only do compound if you wanted to. You could only do like chin if you wanted to. You could do chin ups, bench press, or just bench press, deadlift, and squats. And you could do that, but most likely you would have a very unbalanced physique if you did that. Because compounds, yeah, they do hit different muscles at the same time, but they don't. They're not really good at biasing every single muscle group very well. For example, bench press. Depending on the grip, yeah, you have some muscle groups that are more biased than others. If you take like a neutral grip or like the grip that most people take, it would be mostly your chest. So if you only did bench press for upper body or for the front of your body, you have a big chest. But if you only did like neutral grip, like the normal grip, your triceps might not be that big, and your lateral delts would probably not be especially big. Same thing for deadlift. Deadlift might build your back a little bit. Yeah, you have a bigger back. The legs will be bigger, but your hamstrings probably won't be too crazy. And then squats, yeah, squats will build your quads very well. You have big quads, small hamstrings, probably big glutes, small hamstrings, small calves. So that's the purpose of isolation exercises. And yeah, bench and squats are great for building muscle, but deadlifting, I don't necessarily think you should necessarily do the conventional deadlift for to build muscle. At least if you're interested in powerlifting, yeah. But the only type of deadlift I do like stiff leg deadlift is way more effective for building muscle in your lower body. But you see, yeah, you could do mostly compounds, but you probably have a very unbalanced physique if you did that. Something that a lot of people call torso dominant physique, where you have a big torso, like big chest, maybe big shoulders, but your arms are small. Because the best arm exercises aren't big compounds or chin ups, just bicep curls, tricep push down, isolation exercises that are very good. So now that you know the importance of isolation exercise, for example, for your calves and hamstrings and everything, I won't really go into details about which exercise you should do, or yeah, I won't really go into details about the specific exercises in this video, but I want to really talk about how you should perform isolation exercises and why you shouldn't treat them as an afterthought or something that isn't important, because they are very, very important. You should still prioritize progressive overload on isolation exercises. What I used to do and what I learned from some people is that isolation exercises are just, I used to perform them just as a as a way to increase my pump. I would just do a few sets with few reps, not really taking them seriously. I used to literally treat them as an afterthought. I would just chase the pump on isolation exercise, and that wasn't smart at all. You should still progressively overload on isolation exercises. It shouldn't be any different. You want to progressively overload on bench, but you should also progressive overload on bicep curls. Why treat bicep curls differently in that regard? So you should still prioritize progressive overload on isolation. So you should still take them very seriously, take them to failure. Don't just do a bunch of sets of bicep curls or tricep push down, but with very low intensity. You should still be with very high intensity, and you should still come back next week and think to yourself, okay, I'm going to try to be better than I was last week on tricep push down or bicep curls or calf raises. You should still come in there and look to improve week to week, session to session, to keep getting better, adding the reps, adding the weights. Because to grow muscle, or progressive overload just shows you that you're building muscle. If you're constantly stagnating on bicep curls or tricep push down, or just any isolation exercise that you do, if you consider stagnating and 2 months later you're still using the exact same weight, then the muscle won't. Don't be surprised that the muscle hasn't grown at all. That your biceps aren't getting bigger. 4 months ago, I used to do bicep curls with, I think, only 20 kg barbell curls, 20 kgs. A few months, like a few weeks ago, before my deload, and now I've gotten a little bit weaker since my deload. I was a little bit sick and I had deload and everything, so I got a little bit weaker. But a few weeks ago, I was doing bicep curls with 40 kg, so I effectively doubled my strength on bicep curls in 3 months. Yeah, 3 months. And now I'm doing bicep curls with. I think next session I'm gonna do. Yeah, next session I'm gonna do 40 kg again. No, 35 kg. Sorry, but last session I did 30 kgs for 8 reps with very strict form. I'm not talking about just like crazy body English or something like that. I'm talking very strict form, controlled eccentric, pause at the bottom, pause at the top. So even though isolation exercises, I take them very seriously. I'm trying to progressively overload and take them to failure. I push them as hard as I need to, as hard as I can. And that's how you should treat isolation exercise. Don't treat isolation exercise as an afterthought. That's just I don't know why maybe I'm just the only one doing it, but I don't think I am. Because even some YouTubers, they would talk about isolation exercise as if they were an afterthought. They would say, yeah, focus on your compounds, And you start thinking that isolation exercise you just need to do them for fun, or just to pump some blood into the muscle, but that's not how it works. I would actually recommend you should not really treat isolation exercise differently to your compounds. And even when it came to rest breaks, in the past I used to just rest 1 minute for 1 minute between sets of an isolation exercise, and yeah, that was also just such a dumb mistake. And in the past, I was able to do that because I wasn't training hard on isolation. I wouldn't even push them hard at all, so I could just rest for 1 minute and still come back and be recovered. But now I rest at least 3 minutes between isolation exercises. Of course, yeah, my rest is a little bit less on isolation exercise than it is on big compounds. For example, exercises like pull-ups and dips, I need to rest for a while, or even zombie squat. Those are the three really big compounds that I do. Like I do other compounds, but those are very like difficult compounds to recover from. And for those exercises, I rest at least literally 5 minutes, at least 5 minutes between sets of dips or zombie squat or weighted chin-ups, or weighted dips, weighted chin-ups, and zombie squat, because they're so difficult and so hard to recover from. But on bicep curls, yeah, 3 minutes and 30 seconds is enough for me to go back and perform the exercise again. Like I could go back after 3 minutes of rest and I'm fine after 3 minutes. But if I just took 2 minutes of rest and I went back, or 1 minute of rest, I wouldn't be recovered. You know why? Because I actually take my sets to failure. And even if I didn't necessarily go to total failure, if I went close to failure, I wouldn't be able to go back after 1 minute and do a productive set again. So if you're really pushing hard, yeah, on some exercises maybe 2 minutes would be enough, but for me, I've noticed that 3 minutes is the bare minimum I rest for between sets of any exercise, including isolation exercises. And if you're actually training hard enough, that should probably be the case for you as well. If you can literally go back after 1 minute, bro, what are you doing? If you can go back after 1 minute of resting after a working set, bro, I don't know how you either have some superhuman recovery or you just train like a pussy. As simple as that. So yeah, hope you found this video valuable, and I hope you actually managed to drill this into your head if you were actually making this mistake, the mistake of treating isolation exercises as just an afterthought or a pump maker or something like that. No, take them seriously. So yeah, if you're interested in my fitness coaching and you want me to help you build a physique you can be proud of, then yeah, you can click the first link in the description, and yeah, it will take you to a sales page and everything. Don't Don't run away from discomfort. Chase it.